With Studio at SIA Partners, we are investing into B2B tech startups with which we are creating business synergies for our clients. And today we are really happy to announce a new investment in Tiptruck. So, François, can you introduce us Tiptruck, please?
Thank you, Elsa. Yes, of course. So, I'm François. I'm the founder of Tiptruck. And what is Tiptruck? So Tiptruck is a technology company, as you explained. We're doing software and hardware, and we're producing solutions to help industrial clients, mostly industrial groups, large groups, but also small and medium-sized company, to better understand how the performance is happening inside factory. The goal is to help them explain why there's non-performance or performance issue inside the factory, and then progressively solve these issues and improve productivity in general.
What does the Tiptruck product actually do?
Yes. So we have, I would say, 4 core products, and this is what we're going to talk about today. And we also are working on a machine learning platform to further push analysis on the data we're collecting, because we're collecting a lot of data. If we look at the core products, we have 4 core products. One that is called PerfTrack for machine performance, one that is called QualTrack for quality measurements. We're not going to do the quality control itself, but we're going to digitalize the results of the quality control. We have what we call ProcessTrack to monitor machine, so any type of sensor inside a factory. So if you look about temperature, pressure, humidity, you would like to get this information on a regular basis, we can provide that at a very, very, very competitive cost. And if you look also at, for example, energy consumption, we can also bring in a very nice sensor for this, and also on vibration, because vibration is also good for example, preventive maintenance. And we have a last solution that is called PaceTrack, which is the equivalent of PerfTrack, but instead of addressing machine performance, it's mostly people performance. So how people do manual tasks. We work with a lot of factories that are doing manual assembly, and these 4 products are bringing information around this. If you look at these 4 products, they are very complementary. The goal is to be able to, with only one solution, one platform, connect machines, people inside the factory at all level of production. So it could be a machine that is doing the packaging, it could be a machine that is doing the production itself, but with only one platform, you have a global view of what is happening inside the factory.
And as a French company, why did you decide to go first in China and the US?
When you start to look for new region to conquer, I would say there are many things that are important. The market size, but also how much it costs to go there. Opening in France was natural. This is where the company was, and we did a great success. We have a profitable company in France, and we start to target many clients in France, but also in countries nearby. China is a very, very big market with a lot of factories. And China is facing a lot of challenge today because the salaries are increasing, the demography is changing. So it's very good for them to have this kind of system. Also, what is good is that we had the money to enter China. It's a little bit less costly than to enter the US. So we decided to do this. Now that we have this fundraising, the US is quite natural. So we do want to open this branch, and we want to make sure that we cover the whole world in terms of support, in terms of time zone. So it does make sense. So China and the US are the biggest, I would say, market in terms of number of factories, and they're also facing challenges. So it's good for us to be there, and it's good for them for us to come.
And in what type of industry Tiptruck is really relevant?
In fact, as soon as you have a machine that is producing, we can help. When we created the company, we thought that it would be better for small and medium company because our system were very affordable. We talk about €2,000 or $2,000 per machine. But what happened is that large corporation got interested into what we were doing. And today we are in many verticals. We work with car manufacturers. We work with tier 1, tier 2 suppliers of the car industry. We work with pharmaceutical company. We work with the food industry. We work with aeronautics. So we work with a lot of companies that are producing plane and another type of aeronautic parts. So in fact, we can be everywhere. As soon as you have a machine that is producing, we can target the market. We're going to share a small table to show that we can target not only any verticals, but also at any size. And once you have a client that is within this kind of request, meaning that they have machines and people assembling things and maybe challenges in terms of understanding their process, we can help.
And do you have some case studies to share?
So Out of our 120 clients, we cannot share all information, but we have the permission to share some of them. For example, we are the official supplier of Alstom all around the world, the train maker. And it's very interesting because they tried us in one factory, and the payback is in weeks. So maybe not 1 week, but maybe several weeks. And as soon as you convince them that there's a payback, they put rules. So I cannot tell the internal rule, but they say if a machine is worth more than X, install TeepTrack. And today Alstom is in this logic where they're going to deploy us on all machines over X amount of money.
And why do you think it's interesting for you to have SIA Partners as an investor now?
So we used to work with many consultants, and what we do is very complementary to what consultants do. So TeepTrack is bringing technology, hardware and software to connect factories, and we deliver data. And our role stops at delivering data. I don't do consulting anymore. So when we deliver data, it's not results, it's not impact. So it really depends on how the client is organized and can capitalize on this information to trigger actions and then improve. Some clients are very, very good. Other clients are not as good. But if you combine, I would say, the knowledge, the capacities and the capabilities of consultant, building on the data we deliver and helping the client to organize itself, build action plans, and maybe support them in the large-scale deployment, you can really, I would say, catalyze and improve the results of what we could bring just by supplying the data. And it does make sense to work with SIA Partners because SIA Partners has a very good footprint, has an operation practice that is growing, and it does make sense for both of us to work together.